The courtyard of the celestial citadel is shaped like an octagon. Along one side rises the citadel itself, with a set of broad, shallow steps leading up to the main doors. The other walls of the courtyard are made of crumbling and dilapidated stone, each pierced by an archway that leads out to an unkempt wilderness of tall grasses and low brush, and, beyond this, the sea of clouds. Thick tendrils of ivy and drooping leafy ferns cling to the walls, mixing the scent of green growing things with the dusty smell of ancient stone. The flagstones that cover the courtyard are in pretty good shape. A few are missing here and there, and some look to have been carved at one point with images or emblems, but they've long since weathered away. Several trees have pushed their way up through the flagstones and now tower overhead, leaving parts of the courtyard in dappled shadow. In the very center of this space stands a raised circular pool of maybe 10 feet across, made of pale stone that is cracked and chipped in places or stained with dark mold. Rising from the center of this pool is an elevated basin that looks to have once been carved in elegant spirals that have softened with age. The edges of this basin are now covered in thick tendrils of moss and ivy, and water trickles continuously from the greenery, falling into the pool below with a gentle splashing sound. Surmounting the basin is an imposing statue, sculpted from bronze and now covered in the bright bluish-green patina of verdigris, the metal tarnished over who knows how many centuries. And yet, you can still make out the figure beneath. It is that of a winged woman wearing flowing robes and lifting in one hand a flaming torch. Her face is beautiful and serene as she looks up to the pearlescent skies overhead. In one corner of this 8-sided yard, not too far from the citadel's doors, a huge tree has slowly and inexorably grown into the wall itself, gently pushing stones aside until wood and rock have become one entwined thing. Its massive roots are splayed out across the splintered flagstones, and it is here that Kyros and Hera have made their living quarters. Shaded by the branches overhead, you see a couple of the sleeping couches that centaurs use. Big canvas bags stuffed with wool on which they lean at night. This is where they bed down, next to a fire pit built into the ground where several flagstones are missing. It's actually kind of homey in this little corner of the yard, with belongings and weapons hanging neatly from low-hanging branches of the sheltering tree. Nearby, Kyros has created a crude armor stand so that he can tend to his shining black plate, patiently polishing the dark metal and repairing straps. During the day, you're likely to find the two centaur caring for their weapons as well as training with them. Hera has set up targets across the yard for the use of her longbow. And occasionally, you might hear Kyros training with the Burninator, perhaps with Makani riding on his back as he fires golden blasts of light over the wilderness outside the walls and into the sky above the clouds. In another corner of the yard, Limpy has set up his own little campsite, next to which is the scorpion that is sometimes mounted on Kyros' back. Limpy spends his days tinkering with the scorpion, making sure it's in good repair, and cleaning his firearms. Perhaps because he misses Blue, his little brother. Every few days he will invite the children rescued from Volker's hold to the courtyard, where he shows them useful things like how to build a fire or repair siege machinery. As a result, and to Kyros' grumbling displeasure, The sounds of playing, screaming children sometimes echo from the crumbling walls as they run around under Gillette's patient supervision. At night, however, things are peaceful. Firelight flickers across stone, and along with the melodic sound of water trickling from the fountain, you might just hear the soft sounds of a sleeping centaur.